Hello, everyone. We have with us from Israel today, Paola Rottermann, who many of you have seen in our chat room a lot. Paola's an experiencer and going to tell us all about herself. And we've got our hands together here, hoping things stay cool and calm and peaceful over there, so we can have a full show and have a good time with it.
Thank you for coming on. This is awesome. So I'm excited.
Yeah, what time is it?
Well, it's 2 a.m. here.
Yeah, I knew it was late. I knew it was late. I knew you were about almost 10 hours ahead.
Yes, but it's okay. I'm working with you guys in the States and Australia. So I have, my hours are crazy, but the job needs to be done. So here we are.
Exactly.
Thank you.
All right. So let's tell our audience about you and, something of your backstory so that we can carry on a conversation, because I know it's interesting.
Thank you. Well, I was born in Bogota, Colombia in South America in 1976. I have three sisters. I am the eldest. But everything has been a process, Since I was a little child, I've been having like these strange experiences. Like this feeling, like I can feel the presence next to my bed of something touching my legs or my body, I guess maybe as humans, we are, even at young ages, we try to give like a rational explanation of everything. I just thought I was scared of darkness, and I remember there was even this night where I was sleeping. I remember I was sleeping and while I was sleeping, I got like this strange feeling that I need to wake up. And I need to wake up. I need to wake up. And when I wake up, my sister was sleeping in her bed just in front of me. When I wake up and I sit on my bed, I see a huge tarantula, the size of a
goodness gracious.
Yeah, it's like the size of a car, kind of, grabbing my sister and trying to take her. Now, I just woke up. I'm trying to understand the situation. And, I'm trying to, with my eyes, maybe I'm dreaming. But no, I'm looking at this thing. Now I want to scream, Dad, something's here. But my voice don't come out. It's like I'm fully paralyzed.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly everything stops. And it's gone. Now, I couldn't even go to my parents. I said this happened because there is nothing there to see. So who will believe me? So it started like this. Experiences, like little things that I couldn't give an explanation just as a little child. And I couldn't talk with no one because I don't have a proof, When I was 7 years old, my dad, rest in peace, was a pediatrician. And my mom is a nurse. For some reason, since I was a little girl, I was very interested in medicine. In the third floor of my place, we had a beautiful library. And my parents had there all their medicine books. So I used to come every time and pick one of those books. I could not understand the language, all the medical work, like, well, you don't get a thing. But I love to see all the pictures of the lungs and the heart and, like learning our body from the inside out. There was this time that I came back from school and I opened one of these books. And the first thing I saw, not knowing what it was a triangle alien craft. I guess it was, I don't know, I would like to know, maybe a Whitley Strieber book or something that I don't even know why my parents would have a book about aliens, It's so weird. When I open the book and I see this triangle craft, I can say when you talk about time stopping, it's like everything stopped around me. I couldn't hear noises. I was hearing a high, pitchy sound in my ear, in my right ear. I couldn't hear the birds, not my grandmother, nothing. I was like petrified with the book. And suddenly, these green numbers appeared in my head. Like when you see a computer running numbers, green numbers, series of zeros, threes, and fives. So I was just trying to understand what's going on. I'm petrified, and these numbers in my head, and they were translating in my brain as images. So I guess that's maybe the first time I think I got kind of like a telepathic message where I could see this craft that was in the book hovering outside planet Earth.
Mhm.
And so message, this simple message for this little girl, this is a different kind of plane. The planes that this is a different kind of plane, a different technology. We live here outside planet Earth, but we come to visit you.
Yeah. Yep.
And like in the movies, boom, everything stops. That was the download. I call it a download because never felt something like that. I didn't understand what's going on. I remember I just closed the book and I had a seat and I said to myself, like, what the hell is going on? Like, okay, maybe I will hear my parents talking about a different plane, or I will see it outside, or my friends at school will talk about an experience like this, but nothing. And again, I cannot show what I have seen.
Right.
So I grew up very lonely. This feeling of these experiences that I cannot talk about it. How can I share this? Who will believe me? Maybe I'm crazy, you know? Maybe I'm not a normal child. So I was very quiet. We started at some point in the 90s, I guess, having these series from the States, Star Trek and V. And when I saw that, I remember I said to my mom, Mom, there are other people that know about this. Now, you need to understand that Colombia, It's a simple country, till we received the things from the States. We're talking about the 90s, people were not talking about this, nothing.
Mhm.
And I said, Mom, people know about this and they are here. I got a message from them. And my mom said, like, come on, no, this is Hollywood, this is no, no, no. Maybe she needs to sleep a little bit more or something. Something's wrong. But I was like with this feeling that what happened to me, I know what I saw, I know what I felt. Like, this cannot be not real, you know. After school and feeling again very alone with this experience, I started my BA in journalism and social communication. And at some point, I just decided that Colombia was not the best place for me. Not only because of the situation there, it's not secure at all and doesn't matter. It's a beautiful country, but unfortunately, it's really tough. Um, I had this strong feeling that I need to get out of there, that my place is not in Colombia. I didn't understand why. It's true that I was born in a little Jewish community there, and we always see Israel, as a super special place in our heart and like a homeland. For some reason, I felt like you need to go to Israel. I've never been here before. I was never here before. When I went to my parents, I told them, listen, I'm leaving Colombia and I'm going to Israel. They said, oh my God, Israel, but can't you not go like Mexico, Argentina, something like more? You are going to the other side of the world. Are you crazy? And I said, like, yes. And I don't know why, but I need to go there. I think all these experiences are also a process. When something happened, you need to understand it. You need to understand yourself, kind of understand how everything or everyone else sees it, and deal with it even alone, you know? So I came to Israel. It was 1999. I was 21, and everything has been a process because only when I got here, um, two things started to happen. One of them is that I started to have really serious headaches. Um,
Hmm.
it started like a migraine, but with months and even years, because I suffered from these like for 4 years. It was a 24/7 headache, 365 days a year. So doctors told me like probably you're having like hormonal issues, and they were giving me hormones, and I was taking care of these literally medically. And in the other hand, um, I guess about 5 years after I got here, um, this night happened that I went to sleep, and the feeling is like I suddenly woke up in another land, like
Hmm.
someone just and put me in another land, when I am conscious about the fact that I am sleeping, but I am conscious about the fact that I landed here and I don't know how. Like, I'm fully aware of the situation. This place looks like a Martian soil. It's like a red, red sand. If you think about the Australian deserts, this red sand, kind of the Dead Sea area here in Israel, Rocky Mountains. I don't remember feeling cold or hot. It was really nice, a little windy, but nothing. I said, oh my God, what I'm doing here. I felt so lost. And I just started walking. I guess my human instincts were trying to find shelter and water because I didn't know what will happen now. And I started just walking and walking and walking, asking myself, how did I get here? And suddenly, far away, I see a figure coming towards me. I said, oh my God, it looks humanoid, So I said, great, humans. So maybe, I can ask what I'm doing here and what's going on. This figure comes towards me, but it's so weird because it doesn't look like he's walking. It's kind of hovering towards me. And when he gets about a meter from me, I understand this is a little child, a 5, 6 years old child. And when I look into his eyes, well, this little boy is beautiful, but his eyes are huge. They look like the grayish black eyes. And all the rest is a beautiful boy, humanoid boy, with those eyes. And I said, okay, what are we doing here? Who are you? What are your parents? What I can say is that boy, it's like I felt an immediate feeling of motherhood. Like, this child is mine, and I was ready to protect this kid no matter what. Mm-hmm. It's my boy. Now, I thought, I'm taking him to a shelter, whatever I will find. But he was the one that raised his hand. I took his hand and we started walking together. He didn't say a word. I was the one all the time talking, no, where are we? What are we doing here? Where did you come from? Nothing. And suddenly, far away, I see kind of I don't know. We get closer and closer, and I understand this is a tent. If you can imagine a biblical tent, something super simple, a no-matter tent in the desert, in the middle of nowhere. I said, okay, but at least, maybe I found his family. He got me to that tent. And I guess when he opened the tent and we got inside, that was the shock of my life, because inside there was no tent. There was this huge round craft with a very, very white, bright light that comes like from the ceiling. This place is so huge. I cannot even see the end of it. It's like I'm just in a room that it's part of a huge crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what? Like, what the hell is going on? What is this place? And in my left side, I hear a voice. I see a Lego structure, like a cube structure with another entity sitting there. This entity looks at me. It looks kind of a hologram. But she says, or he says, we are glad you are here because right now you are the only one that can help us and save us. And I said, like, what? Like, what is going on? Like, hold on. You know, I was outside. This was a tent. No, this is not a tent. This is a huge craft. Like, who are you guys? What is going on? Now, this child that picked me up in the desert, maybe it's that motherhood instinct. I don't know, but he can calm me down. He took me my hand again. And he raises his other hand. And suddenly I see that in this compound, it looks like an ER full of beds, about 50 beds.
Wow.
In each one of those beds, there is a pregnant woman in different stages of having birth. I saw little beds next to the women's beds. There were some babies that were already born. And when I see the beds finally, and these women laying there, I actually can see a praying mantis standing in the middle of the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't communicate with me like talking or something, but oh my God, my mom is here. I can't believe it. She's in Mexico. You know, my mom.
Hi, Mom.
The thing is that the praying mantis, I really felt I was going to faint. When you see this thing so high and the legs, and it's an insect, and I wasn't scared, but it's the feeling of something. So I feel I have here a mission. I don't know exactly what I need to do. The only thing I felt from the mantis when she looked into my eyes was kind of, now you need to do your job.
Did they tell you what your job was?
Well, I guess in that moment, all that I learned since I was a little child with these books of medicine, all my readings about it, till today, and I haven't studied medicine, but I am the kind of person that if I see an accident or someone going through something, I am the first one running and taking care of the people, and doing CPR, and like I know what to do and I don't know why. So I understood that I need to start running and help these women having birth. So I started checking every single one of them, including the babies. What was real interesting is that all of them, all the babies that were already outside the bellies, all of them had these black, gray eyes. And next to those beds, I could see also what we call maybe the little grays. They looked more like, if we think about the picture of Skinny Bob, they looked like Skinny Bob, little ones. They were very respectful to the mantis. I didn't have a communication with the little grays, but I felt like the mantis had a profound knowledge of creation. And those little grays were there like helping and just trying to, I didn't really understand what was going on. Now I see it as an hybridization program, but back then I couldn't understand what was going on. And I say this is a process because only when I came to Israel, since I was a little child, the E.T Phenomenon was with me because of the experience I had when I was 7 years old. But still in 1999, no one, my friends or family, no one was talking about this. When I came to Israel, that was the first time I heard Bob Lazar talking. Now, everyone has his opinion about Bob Lazar, but I guess the main point for me was the fact that this guy was talking about reverse technology inside our government's bases, and that was like a boom for me, because not only other people know about this in this world, you are telling me that this is related to the government and we don't know about it? Like what? This is huge, but so huge that we are living in the worst or the best lie ever told. And so my journalism started like crazy. When I started journalism, I thought I was just going to be a journalist in Colombia. I was already working in a TV network. I never thought the alien phenomenon would be my path. And so I started researching about everyone, every single person that I could see that was talking about it. And so I found MUFON. And so I understood that there are other people that are also having the same experiences, and that maybe I am not crazy, and that maybe I can help others understanding what's going on, And so every year I get more confirmations about my path and my own story with the headaches. It's so related because you need to understand that I don't know how to call, this, it's not a dream, this experience when I go to sleep. After I take care of all these women and I checked all the babies, it's like I finish with my work, and in a second, exactly as when I was 7 years old with the book, everything closes. Like everything shuts down, and I'm back to my body, and I wake up. Every time I wake up, I feel lost, anguished. I don't know what happened. I try every time to remember. Maybe there is another detail. Maybe I received another message. Maybe I can see something else. And there was this time I woke up. I was so lost. I made a coffee. And while I was drinking my coffee, I see in my leg this strange mark. Like, it looks like a cat paw, like a dog paw. I don't know if you have seen Terry Lovelace's mark in his leg.
Yes, I
It
have.
looks like kind of like a dog paw, something like that. Well, it looks exactly the same. I will send you the pictures, guys.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
And it having this knowledge also about medicine, I said maybe it's an allergy. So I started checking the rest of my body. Maybe I had another signs, respiratory issues, or nothing. This mark was on my leg for 24 hours and it disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
I have two cats in my home. I said maybe the cat slept over me, but how long can a cat put his paw on your leg or have a mark for 24 hours and then disappearing suddenly? There was no surgery.
Real quick, I have a question. I have an implant in my leg. It's my left leg, and it's almost it's like the outer upper area where you would put your pocket, kind of. Where is yours at? Where was yours at?
Mine was under the knee.
Okay.
Like under the knee on the side.
Okay, yeah.
It was the low leg.
Okay.
It was the lower part of the leg.
Okay.
And that's it. I have some other protuberations, you see, here, for example. I need to check these because it can be maybe just a little cyst, but I need to check these. And I have another one in my right leg that looks like these too, but I haven't done an MRI. Now that I'm talking about the MRIs, well, my headache after 4 years, I remember I felt already very bad with the headache. I almost fainted. So I went to the ER and they made an MRI. The doctor said, listen, you have 2 cysts inside your head. One of them is in the left side of your brain. It's so big, it's like a tennis ball.
Wow.
Okay? Yes. Now, if you see my left side here, you see?
Yep.
They needed to open the head in order to get to that cyst and take the liquid from outside, take the liquid she had there. She was pressuring my brain, and I was almost losing my left eye. So the doctor said,
gracious.
we need to operate immediately. Now, in the other hand, you have another cyst. This cyst is in your pituitary gland. Now, for those that don't know, the pituitary gland is between both of your eyes, just behind your nose, in your brain. I need to say also that this dream that I have when I go to the craft, it always happened during my ovulation periods, my ovulation cycles.
Mm-hmm.
So when the doctor said you have a cyst in the pituitary gland that is also related to hormones, pregnancy and whatever, I said, okay, that's the reason why I've been having all these issues. When they operated that cyst in the pituitary gland, the best way the doctor could explain it to me is that when they got through my nose to the cyst and tried to take that cyst out, they saw there what looked like a little cube.
Oh,
Something so small. It's, kind of an implant, but it looked like a little cube. And he said, I don't know how the hell that was in your head.
Wow.
You mean your body can make a cube?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Oh my goodness. I bet that was frightening.
Like, what are you talking about? Because like my experiences are already crazy enough. So I don't know what's going on. He said, yes. It looked like a little cube. And the moment we tried to take everything out, the whole thing exploded.
What?
Wow.
Everything. So I actually almost lost my life because all the fluids from the brain were flowing outside, like through my nose.
Oh my
And
goodness.
they immediately needed to try to glue everything there inside. I was losing my brain fluids. The whole thing exploded. And they
Wow.
made it. So I am alive because, I till today, this doctor is my angel. But I don't have the cube. If it was an implant, I don't have it. The whole thing exploded.
Wow.
And the headaches, they always came with that pitchy sound that I heard when I was 7 years old. I was always checking my ears, I thought I was like water or something, but I was having all the time confirmations about my story without asking for it, the little cube, and now like this kind of dream, and so what is going on? I say this is a process because it takes years. I'm 49 years old now, and only recently I've started talking about this. Not only because of the huge stigma that we still have all around the world, but it takes a lot of time to understand that you are not crazy, and that what you are feeling and seeing is legitimate. And I don't have nothing to be ashamed, or I don't have nothing to hide. This is me. This is my story. And on the contrary, I actually decided that through my investigative journalism and my own experience, I can help other people that still feel scared about this to gain these, we need to be strong. We need to be strong and understand that we are not alone. That there will always will be someone telling us, you are this, you are that. And when I say I'm an investigative journalist, oh, show me your credentials. Oh, I have this. Oh, show me. There will always be someone that will try to be strong. We are doing a great job here. Our stories are critical for all this process, whatever disclosure means. I can say now that my boy, I have a 10 years old boy, he actually looks like these tall blondes. He's very blonde with these blue, huge eyes. And he's part of it. My little boy was drawing crafts since he was a little child.
Wow.
Even before he was hearing me talking about this, he was already drawing all these things. And I was asking him, like, where do you have those ideas, And he said, like, he was always saying, like, I don't know, Mom, I just know. But there was this time in his birthday, the 17th of February, 3 years ago, that we had for the first time a mutual sighting in his birthday. And this craft was the most beautiful thing. It was gold. This kind of, I've never seen a gold like that. Like, no shape. It was like a rounded thing, but metallic and gold. And I said to my boy, like, you can see that? And my boy said, yes, Mom, that's them. They are here. And since then, we've been having our sightings together. So now he's 10 years old. Of course, he hears me talking about it. He's very aware about the phenomenon. And I love it. I love it because, when we think about the alien phenomenon as a generational thing, well, I think it's generational also here with us when we give to our kids this information, not in order to convince them, but to be aware. Maybe they will be our voice in the future or not, but the fact that they are already aware of these, it's a huge difference for everyone and the community. So it's been a beautiful process, full of up and downs and feelings and loneliness. But I can say happily now that I found you guys and all this beautiful community, and we are doing this amazing job. I can't feel more proud. So
Let me ask this: did you have long-term residual health effects from the exploding brain?
wow. That first operation took, I was hospitalized for a month with a needle in my vertical spine because they were trying to balance all the fluids in the brain again. So I was in a critical condition, but actually after the operations, the headaches almost disappeared. I have them from time to time, but it's not the same thing at all. It changed everything. At least from the, it's impossible. Sometimes you have a migraine and you cannot work, you know, when you have these 24/7, 365, it's impossible. So it was a really relief from me that this happened. And I am really lucky to be alive too, I guess. Um, but over than that, I'm fine, normally working, everything is okay.
So have you seen any of the other people that were on the craft with you in the hybridization experiments anywhere else? Have you ever met any of them?
No, no, not at
How many,
all. But
how many were there?
I continue to have this experience.
About how many
It
are in
happened,
the room with you?
oh my God, where there were these 50 women. Next to each one of those bed, there was a gray little alien, so I guess 50 of them. The praying mantis, the hologram figure, and me. That's all I could see. So
Mhm.
there was a, you know, there were people like they were working there. They were all busy doing stuff. I just couldn't understand what exactly they were doing or what they were using or what. I just remember I started grabbing in my hands whatever I could recognize as a medical thing, and I could help um, these women somehow, checking their bellies, their pregnancies. All the babies were alive, but all of them with all huge black eyes.
Wow.
That's like when I had my dream. I remember I looked on each side and it was just a bunch of women around my age. This was a few years ago, just laying down, but they weren't aware. I was the only one aware of everybody around me. And then there was some being that was in front of me with an instrument, and it the room was huge, and it was very intimidating. So it's interesting that you
Yeah,
said, and I always wondered why I have an implant, and I wonder if I wonder if it's the ones that do the hybridization, if they keep track of us that way. I'm sure there's different reasons for different ones, but
yeah. And sometimes, you know, lately I've been thinking about maybe they don't use those implants in order to, maybe it's kind of an organizer, like a human organizer. Maybe those that have the cube implant belong to certain family,
right,
and
yeah.
those that have this kind of, so I still have so much questions, you know, like the more we go deep, the more questions there are,
Right.
and the
When
more
you
I
were
want.
when you were in the craft or the lab or whatever, uh, were you presented with your hybrid child?
I think the little boy that came to pick me up in the desert is
Ah,
my boy.
okay, all right.
Yes,
That's
that's
just
my feeling.
Yeah. I got it.
Yes, yes, that's my feeling. I was also wondering, you know, the craft inside, there were two floors. Um, in the second floor, I could see like these smoked black windows. Kind of someone is standing behind those windows, looking down there in the ER, what's going on. But I don't know. My question is, were there humans? Can this be related to, I don't know, um, the government somehow? I have so many questions still. Because why black windows? You know, it was really like something was hiding there. You know, everything is from feelings. I don't know how to explain it. It's I just don't. I don't have another explanation.
What experiences does your son remember?
Hmm. Well, he hasn't. I've tried to ask him if he has had like this kind of dreams, or, but I guess his way of expressing this issue is by drawing. There
Uh-huh.
was this, he actually draws them, helping humans, with all kind of machines that makes like energy. Like I don't know. I don't know. He don't talk about it. I don't think he's still enough. Um, well, I don't know if he knows how to explain it. You
Right.
know, I try to think about myself when I was that age, and I could not talk about it. But he knows I'm here. Every time he draws something, he show it and he explains, and but no more information than that. So the
Wow.
process has been just amazing, and I guess the main message that I get from this experience all the time is, remember that we are all human earthlings. We should give hands to each other, love each other, support each other, because if we don't start getting consciousness about it, the whole thing will go to hell. They are watching on us. That's why we can see them also, um, hovering on nuke bases, and they won't let us explode the whole thing. But I don't feel they want to interfere with our own decisions. For good or for bad, we need to learn our own way, what's better for us. But we need to understand that if we don't, we need to be humane. Be humane. Doesn't matter what's your God, your religion, your sexual preferences. Be humane. That's all. They are not asking for too much,
Right.
you
We
know?
certainly need to be nicer to each other. I'm kind of tired of wars.
Yeah,
We do waste a
it's
lot of energy on stuff that's not really important.
exactly. And I pray these will all make a change. I hope we will make it for all of us, for our kids. This is for our kids. We have a beautiful planet. We humans need to grow up and start behaving differently, you know. So yeah, I guess that's the message.
Thank you very much. I would love to have you on again. The hour's almost up, so I want to ask you, where can people find you? Do you want to promote anything or whatever you want to talk about?
Well, thank you so much for having me. Well, you can
Oh, it was
find me.
wonderful, Polly. Wonderful. It was wonderful.
Thank you so much. It's an honor for me. I'm so proud of you guys. And of course, well, my main page is Bob Lazar and Beyond. Now you know why. And you can find me too in the UFO Man podcast. So,
Okay.
and I'm sharing information um, everywhere. You will find me everywhere in Australia, in the States, South America. I'm trying to share the most accurate and best information that I can for our public to learn and for us to understand what's going on. So whatever you need, let me know. I'm here for you guys. And don't remember, hold hands.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Paul. You've been a great person for following us. You're very active in our group page, and we appreciate you a lot. And if I wish more people that have the experiences you have and Lala has would talk about them so that
Yes.
others realize they're not alone.
Exactly. So let's do it. Come, you're not alone. I got you.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. It was a great time. We're so happy to have Polly on at last, and hopefully interact with her on her pages or on Facebook or one of those places. And don't forget, all of our material is on my page or Lala's page on Facebook, and you can go take a look at it. It's open and available to the public. And with that, we would like to say thank you so much. Have a great evening, and we'll see you again soon.
See ya.
Thank you. Love you guys.